So, thank you so much for taking your time. We are waiting for Simon Kirui to join us. I think he's still missing, and then we can start. Yes, we are live on Facebook. If he's not there, then I will just kick off. Yeah, good. Yes, thank you so much once more for taking your time to enjoy the digital coffee with the AG Career Hub family. Happy to see you all smiling, and thank you so much for your time. I am Caroline Mwangi, and I'm very honored to host a very special guest, His Excellency, Mr. Thomas Amolo. Thank you so much for supporting us. I can see the daughters, the future.
Thanks.
The future leaders are also joining him. Thank you so much for your time. And I love people, I love communities, and I'm going to keep up with a short presentation, a short speech. I hope you won't get bored by my speech. And then we kick off, yeah. So karibuni sana, the first Diaspora Meetup for Kenyans in Germany, with a kickoff of entrepreneurs who have managed to establish their business ventures in Germany. Today, admit, yes, okay, so sorry. Today, we have the honor of meeting a few entrepreneurs that have managed to set up their businesses in Germany. What a great step of braveness, especially in such an environment with complicated taxation systems, company registration, among others. I'm looking forward to getting the knowledge nuggets and to inspire other upcoming entrepreneurs who would like to join the corporate world in Germany. We would also like to acknowledge a very special guest, His Excellency Thomas Amolo, the Kenyan Ambassador in Germany, Frida Kivuko, the Widu Manager in Kenya. We have Elizabeth Njoroge, the founder of Lisa Team, Gebäude Reinigung, and Ian Minjire, the co-founder of Melanin Capital. A big thank you to the whole team and the partners and mentors who have been of great support to the growth of the AG Career Hub family. I would like to kick off with one statement that has been challenging us positively every day as Africans in the diaspora. And the question is, which role can you and myself play in building and establishing sustainable partnerships and collaborations in the academia and industry sectors between Germany and our country back home? While growing up, I realized that education is very important to access opportunities back home and globally. After I joined Germany for the OP exchange program, I discovered how important academic credentials are in order for one to start off any career opportunities in Germany. Germany is a country that values education and skills in the corporate and social environment. Without this background, many struggle within. And that is why we initiated the AG Career Hub, to create an academic home away from home, to mentor our own students and professionals to make the right academic and career choices, to uplift each other when our goals and dreams shatter, to cheer each other's success, and to establish sustainable collaborations between Germany and Africa. Each and every one of us in this meeting, and the ones who will join us later, have a role to play in this. We would like, however, to acknowledge some organizations and initiatives that are part of the academic home and the diaspora communities we have managed to establish or collaborate with. DAAD and CAAD, scholarship organizations that have been of great help in granting some of African students the financial support during studies in Germany. Programs like PMD, facilitating support for returnees, diaspora experts, and diaspora organizations back home. The AfricaCom program, an initiative by GIZ that has enabled junior managers from the sub-Saharan Africa get experience working with German companies. Widu, an initiative by GIZ that has also been supporting the communities in the diaspora by facilitating job creation and entrepreneurship back home by funding our own brothers and sisters. Many initiatives and communities have strongly contributed to the growth of the Kenyan communities in the diaspora, and we are very proud of them. I'll name a few who may have joined us today and whom we need to acknowledge. Agribora by Kizito Odhiambo, an agri-tech startup. Company actually not a startup anymore. Still Therefore GmbH by Bramwell Omondi, he's a co-founder. We have Mark Coffee by Alan Mtagwaba, exporting coffee from Kenya, from Tanzania. We have the African Nurses in Germany by Rose Komarek. We have the Kenyan Women in Germany, and I can see Jackie Cood there. We have Just for the Flow podcast by engineer Moses Gedenji. We have the Tide Society for the youngsters, young Kenyans in Europe by Henry Osewe and his team. We have Karibuni Jikoni by our own Carol Muhlenbrock, proudly presents our African cuisine. We have Jill Longu presenting also African cuisine. We have Elizabeth Holliman talking about critical whiteness and about fighting racism. We have the Tales of Yambo, telling our own stories, celebrating our own by Philly Yambo Makora. We have Nurses Podcast by Julie. We have Leapfrog by Wanjala doing amazing projects in Kibera. We have Rafiki Amines doing amazing events to give us some feeling away from home. By Joseph Kama, we have Jerry Kremer and Wambui Mokuhe with the Carl Initiative, bringing back the history of Africa. We have African Tasty by Rebecca Mueller. We have African Dishes by Helen Hinterman. We have the blogger and writer by Charity Lutz, and many others. I think each and every one of us deserves a big applause because of making that home abroad. And I would like to introduce my team because we believe that we cannot, if you want to go far, we have to go together. We believe working as a team. So I'll ask my team to introduce themselves so that we can move on to the next agenda. So I could start with the technical, the CTO, who is rarely seen, but we had to force him to appear today. Boniface Mwangi, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, as Carol said, I'm part of the AG Career Hub team, and I'm mostly in the background dealing with the technicals. And I'm based in Aachen, Germany, a software engineer. So, I mean, I try to ensure that the website is running and the social media accounts and any form of tools that we use to help people use this platform to arrive at different goals, whether it is students who are looking for information on studies in Germany, or whether it is business people looking for contacts. So my work with the rest of the team is to ensure that we have those tools ready for use, and if anybody contacts us requiring any kind of information to be delivered in any form, we ensure that we do that within the fastest time possible. And I want to welcome you all to today's event, and I hope we will all learn one or two things, and it's my wish that we all benefit from all this and share with the rest of the people, and also, yeah, talk to your friends, tell them about this platform, tell them to join us, and yeah, I'm sure we will have a great way forward. Yeah, have a nice time, and Caro, you can now take over. I don't know who is the next one online, Kirui, yeah?
Yeah, we can have Simon Kirui. We cannot hear you, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, now you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I'm part of the team of AG Career Hub. I'm responsible for business consulting and to connect businesses from Africa. So, and through the spirit that Caro once said, we have identified as Africans that if you want to go faster, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, we need to go together. And with that spirit, we are trying to pull up all our energies to focus on what can help us as Africans in diaspora. And another thing that we believe also in business consultation is that if you're not giving anyone any solution, you're robbing them. So we try to give what we can, and with the true spirit of transparency and effectiveness, we want to support all the African business coming up, or the cooperation between German companies and African companies. So thank you for that, and I wish you the best time for getting engaged in this process, and welcome again.
Thank you so much, Simon. Yes, now we have two ladies, Edith Otiende and Joy Awe. Joy Wendo. You can start with Edith, yes.
Okay, so thank you once again, Caro, for this wonderful initiative, and to our Honorable His Excellency Amolo that has paid us this attention. I know on a Sunday like this, so many of our officials normally have a lot of activities and engagements, but then to show this kind of appreciation to our engagement and commitment, it's quite motivating. I'm more of to the legal aspects as a lawyer. My major thing is to support with the legal expertise that goes beyond my own field of, the consultation services to companies both within Germany and cross-border German African companies. The other thing we do so much within GANF organization, which is where the organization I founded and I'm heading, is to bring this cooperation between Germany and Africans to a different level. They should be more of on the same eye level. They should be sustainable. We should work on the principles of ownership and mutuality. So we want to restructure a lot of these partnerships, and it calls for joint ventureships. And that is how we came into this working together and cooperating together with Caroline Mwangi and the AG Career Hub. Just like Irua said, if you want to go far, we really need to work on our partnerships together as an institution, as a continent, motivating one another, and your skills, putting them into operation, so that anybody that wants to come into these German African cooperations, collaborations, they can always rely on you, they can count on you. So I want to encourage each and every one of you, regardless of whichever level you are at individual basis or as an organization, just make it a commitment within you, your expertise, to use it in these partnerships, in these collaborations, to make sure that something primitive, something good, something precious comes out of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Edith. And if you really would like to know more about funding, her organization has been funded heavily by CIM. So she's been doing an amazing work back home. So you can easily get in touch with her, and she can give the tips on how even to apply for funding programs in Germany. Wendo, are you there? She was traveling, so I don't know if she's there. If not, then I'll introduce her on my behalf. Wendo, she has a background of information technology, so she's in charge of data management. Nowadays we are digital, we are dealing with a lot of data, so she's bringing in her expertise to help us to manage the data that we are collecting. And we actually have a section where you can register, you can send us your details, because we plan to have a community where we meet and talk and laugh and even share opportunities or help each other. So I'll share the link later on. I'll show you where that is. And Wendo is the one who's behind all this, trying to help us to manage the data the way it's supposed to be. So as I say before we go on with the next program, I wanted to say one important thing, that you should never feel little with what you're doing. Everyone has a part to play. Yeah, you don't have to be on academic level. You could also be going out there to help young mothers with babies. You could also be out there feeding people, hungry people on the streets. You could also be out there cheering anyone out there. So everyone has a role to play in the diaspora. And the second thing is, we are here to shape up the image of Africa. As Philly Yamba Makora says, if we do not tell our own stories, they will never tell our own stories, because we know our stories better. So keep telling your story wherever you are, whatever you're doing, for the welfare of the Africans in Germany. Remember, all these initiatives, we're going to hand them over to our children who are growing up here. So ensure that we establish sustainable collaborations that we can pass on to our generations to come. So thank you so much. At this time, I want to offer the opportunity for His Excellency, Mr. Thomas Amolo, to introduce himself, and even maybe to mention a bit of what the benefits he has seen, having lived in many different countries in the diaspora, and why it is so important to have such kind of a collaborations. I remember when we first met him, it was through the initiatives of the Kenyan women in Germany. Thank you so much, Jackie, and your team for organizing that. And we managed to have that feeling of how strong communities should work together. And thank you so much for that. And now, His Excellency, the platform is yours. You can go ahead and introduce yourself. I can see window. Yes. Karibuni sana.
All right. Carolyn, thank you very much for hosting us in this very important platform.
That's right there too.
Is that Joy harassing me? Joy, stop harassing me.
I'm sorry, I thought I'm on mute.
I know the girl child is in ascendancy, but we boy children also have room to breathe, okay? So let the boy child also get a word in edgewise, okay? Well, Carol, I just want to thank you for enabling us to have a chat this afternoon, and to commend you highly for enabling this to happen. Since I came in February this year, I've received a huge outpouring of warm welcome and support from everybody. And since the platform that we were using then, and now it seems continues to be the virtual platform, I think it's worth commending the leadership of some powerful women. I see them on the screen: Jackie Kuhn, I see Charity Latz, I see Gillian Piroth, Edith Lawal, Carol, the Tyke gentlemen. The men were not left behind. Ian Minjire, Bramwell. And I have to say that I'm very lucky today that one of my relatives, my son, is watching. And Carl, if you don't put on your screen, I'll buy you a laptop. If you cannot, then I'll shoot you later. But if you can wave to the audience, that would be a great idea. So my son is Carl. He's in Nairobi, and but there's another gentleman who I'm worried about. His name is Dan Amolo. I can confess he's not my son. I did not travel to Germany in another capacity. So Dan, you'd like to please tell us which Amolo this is, because I only know of one Amolo, and that's me.
Thank you, Ambassador.
No, but it's good. It's good stuff. I want to thank you. So that's number one. Number two, just some quick housekeeping stuff. The embassy has moved from where it used to be on Markgrafenstrasse. We're now in a place called Rheinbach-Benallee, in a place called Schmargendorf. It's a good place. At least you can park your car. When you walk out of the building, there's no whiff of sewerage hitting you. And at least you have a place where you can have an event and relax. So we've moved, and the whole office is there. And I invite you whenever you can, whenever you're in Berlin, to pop by. We're very friendly, I assure you. All embassies of Kenya are friendly. Some mystify their roles and keep themselves away from the Kenyans. We do not mystify our roles. You can walk in anytime and say you want to have a chat with me, but don't walk in when I'm meeting the ambassador of Greece in my office and say, Mdosa alisema lazima nimpitie. Don't do that. Just, come in. If I have an opportunity, we'll have a chat. Let me say a few quick things. Number one, in the past 3 days, I've been invited to 3 or 4 German events with Africa the Rhine, with Austria, Asia, Africa Society, and a couple others. And in these engagements, everybody has had immense praise for the Kenyan work ethic, for the entrepreneurship that they've been able to see in Kenya. They've been able to affirm that our education standards are high, and that even those who come into Germany with low education are able to better themselves by elevating their educational standards. But underpinning all of this is a very strong work ethic, which is very similar, in my view, to the German one, where and kazi ni kazi, lazima urute wera, like you have to work hard. And I think that's something which in all our cultures, everybody here on this screen, that culture of hard work and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is something which is common to all of us. The second thing which I've heard is the challenge of politics. And when I say the challenge of politics is whenever we have turbulence in our politics, the economies always suffer. And every time, like these past few days, everybody's asking me, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And they give me the examples of South Africa, where we had an insurrection, really, then coups that began to come up and so on. And I say, look, it's because the common understanding that Germany has about what democracy is hasn't percolated in the African continent. For us, our people see democracy and they ask, where's the food to eat? Wapim sauce. Okay, we have elections, we change our leaders, but what's happening now? So my argument to them is maybe because we have not been able to translate the vision of democracy into the ugali on the plate. And that's something which people constantly ask. And I think I'd like to bring it to your attention so that you're able to mull over it and figure out how we're able to think through how the Germans have done it. Because you see, in Germany, winner doesn't take all. Yes, the other day I was amused where the party that lost says they can actually form a government. That will never happen in the African continent. It will never happen. They say, oh, but they'll be able to cobble a coalition. So these are the kind of things that come up. Now, I think if you had to give me a second, let me just share what I think we ought to be doing. First of all, we have a huge opportunity here in Germany. If you look at the statistics around the need for labor, 400,000 plus. I was in Frankfurt the other day and coming back from a fantastic event that Jackie Kuhn and her colleagues have put together. We went into a place near Frankfurt, and these people are looking for workers. They have a shortfall of 7,000 workers. They don't know where to get them. So there is a huge demand for good labor. And I argue this, Kenyans should now be creative enough that the labor that's sitting around the country that hasn't anything to do can find its way here. That the professionals that who are able to market themselves and are able to work should be able to find their way here. One of the things we missed out at independence was not being able to say that German is a language you ought to learn in primary school. I believe that if we had done that, we had learned French, German, and English, these are some of the best universities on earth. I was looking at the latest Newsweek. Newsweek in its calculation, the best hospitals on earth, Germany has like 1,000 of them or something like that, a huge number. And looking at how they made it easier now, according to the experts on this platform, Jackie Kuhn among them, it's now possible to get permanent residency easier than in the past. And I believe that these are the opportunities now that we should be encouraging as professionals, as people with businesses, to those of us who have networks in Kenya, to pull them to this side. We don't have to, look, the cake in Kenya is there, iko chakula, iko msos. But why do we have to be fighting over this cake, which now, after 1963, when we had a population of what, 10, 20 million? Now we are at 50 million. And the demands are higher. So we should be, our diaspora should be multiplying exponentially abroad. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is that with all your businesses, you have to check each other out. I was very happy when Carol said, we have to cheer each other's successes. Let me repeat that. We have to cheer each other's successes. But look, don't just cheer me. Come and have a meal at my restaurant. We had a fantastic lady the other day. I was with them in Frankfurt, and they talked to us about, I think her name is Mullenbrock, Waidera. The name I remember is Waidera. And it was fantastic what she can offer. And so I told Waidera, look, we'll come up and do something. Let's not just say, oh, nakusupport mbaya sana. Kuja ukule, use my firm. And when you use my firm, don't say, ebuni kati at 20%. Just pay the damn thing, pay it, support each other, okay? That's number one. And so support each other relentlessly. Number two, leverage your networks. I've been listening to all of you here. I'm just impressed with who you know, how you know them, and how you can enable these networks to flourish within your own networks, but also to present them to other networks. Hakuna uchoyo. Uchoyo, by the way, Axel Baum uchoyo is do not be selfish. Hakuna uchoyo. Kwa hivyo, let us be ready to leverage our networks to help others. And when you see something that can help somebody, say, hey, Ian, iko kitu hapa, hebu shikilia. Hey, baadaye Carol nakuona, Wadera nakaa mbaya sana na hiyo outfit yake, unakaa mwaki sana. Kwanza hiyo headdress yako lazima iwe patented. Unaona warembo, angalia headdress. Hiyo ndio mambo kabisa. Jackie leo alipiga African na Carol, hata Charity namuona na African. Forgive me, as a teenager nowadays, I feel cold in the German winter, so I can no longer do African on every day. Kwa hivyo ni forgive me. But hiyo headdress ya Carol inakaa mwaki sana. Kwa hivyo naomba sana tuwe tunajivunia kuwa Waafrika. We have to be African all the time. And then do not reinvent the wheel. And then if I see Ian has done something that makes sense, Melanin Capital. Kala Amolo nasema naanzisha Jade Capital. No, angalia Ian inakaaje. And if yours can really add value to his, you can be partners, okay? And if Melanin Capital is not strong in an area that you know you're strong in, that's fine. But don't do cut and paste. Ian amekula sana huko, atawacha mimi nifanye yangu hivi. Do not do that, okay? And this kind of ridiculous competition, Jackie na watu wake walifanya kitu huko Frankfurt, hata mimi nitafanya yangu hapa Berlin. That's rubbish. Look, guys, you have to support each other. When Jackie and her colleagues did this thing in Frankfurt, it was for all Kenyans. There is no competition. And we are so few here in Germany that you cannot afford to be competing. So my message to you is this. Look, leverage your talents, your expertise, your Kenyanness, and your networks, and your relatives. Some are married to Germans, to Zairians, to whomever, okay? It's good. It's a healthy environment to be in. Leverage those networks for everybody, okay? Then, very important, you have to ask me as your ambassador in Germany to help you. The job of an ambassador is to knock on doors, but don't knock if you know that the process which you're involved in cannot allow official knocking on the door. Somebody the other day nearly put me in problems, and they're asking me to go to an official, a certain area, and to lobby. And then I realized, no, for this kind of thing, it is appointive. Lobbying immediately undermines the integrity of the Kenyan government, of the candidate, and of those other Kenyans who seek the same job and who I'm not lobbying for them. Shauna. So it's not healthy. So you have to help me also disaggregate what is real and what isn't. But the point I'm making is this, and I'm happy that Carol is here, Waidera is here. I remember they told me in Frankfurt, look, we want to get people who know how to do mukimo. That's fantastic. By the way, Jackie Sigo kula mukimo kwa, oh no, they gave me a bit of, there was no mukimo, ndio hakukwa na mukimo. Carol hakukwa na mukimo kwa hiyo kitu ya Jackie. There wasn't. And look, but Jackie, keep quiet. What I was going to say is that they told me that it is possible that we should be able to get technical expertise that is able to shell those njugus, to whatever it is. And that expertise is lacking here. So if you eat a mukimo that you buy from Joy Wendo's outfit, in fake news, amayo samosa zake, because they buy it from a Pakistani shop. So you have to make it by hand. So what I'm saying is, there is possibility now, because of the shortage of labor everywhere, that where expertise rests in Kenya, we can think of pipelines for them here. No, you understand? So we should be thinking of how we can do that. By the way, Carol, I've not quite got into it, because when I came, I had to go to South Africa for the burial of my father-in-law and so on. So I've not got back into it, but I promise I will. So I'm saying that use the embassy to jump in where there is an opening. The other day, Carol, you remember we talked to one of, who's a gentleman who went to school here and is now in Kenya. He said, universities all of, what's his name?
Dr. Ngoshi.
Dr. Ngoshi. Universities all over Germany are busy throwing away equipment. So why can't we create pipelines for this discarded equipment, which is still usable at home? Let's not get obsolete, but which we can still use, okay? And send them in. So I want to end by saying that it is possible that we can continue collaborating. It is a good thing for us to have this platform. It is the only way to do it, because to have a conference of this magnitude in Germany is not possible. I had thought that at the end of the year, I would host something like this in Berlin. It's so many dollars, and it's not feasible. I will try and do it next year when I'll look for money. I'll ask Muhlenbrock na Jamazake Melanin Capital wanisupport watoe chapa, hizo pesa wanakula watoe zingine. So that we have a session here where the leaders of diaspora organizations, such as the leaders of Capital, akina Ian Minjire, tukuje tuketi kwa kikao, tuchambue one or two things, tusikize how can we move to the next step, and so on. And finally, Jackie and the people who run other diaspora organizations, well done, especially supporting the women groups. It's a good thing you're doing. And the boy child has to wake up here. And you remember when we were in Frankfurt, I pulled the men aside and had a session for them. One of them called me later and told me, hey, ndosul nisaidia sana. Nilikuwa nimegongwa na mama siku hiyo mbaya sana. And so when I pulled him aside, he said his estimation in his wife's eyes rose. So it's important for us to support the man child, the boy child, because if there are no men and there are no boys, there is no society. Now, I thank you very much, Carol, and I think this is a good platform. I'll be listening in the background, and if anybody has any questions offline, online, I'm ready to do those. Asanteni sana, nimeshukuru.
Wow, thank you so much. Wow, I was taking notes. Thank you so much for the food for thought. And actually, I totally agree with what you said. We have a lot of role to play here. And actually, that takes us to your speech takes us to the next item on the agenda. We want to launch a business directory, a digital market where you can find Carol Waithera Millenbrook. Make sure you patent this headscarf. It's really amazing. Or you can find communities like Jackie with Quig, where you can find companies to help you to deal with the pricing policy, to evaluate your business model. If you're looking for legal expertise, we just want to showcase what Africans have been doing. And we believe now with these digital platforms, it's the high time we have a digital marketplace for our companies and organizations. So for today, we have a few companies on the platform, and we plan to add as many companies as possible and as many organizations as possible. So I'll share my screen and show you what we have briefly. And then now we go to our main guests where they will introduce their business model. So just give me a minute. Okay. So, yeah, share. Can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen? Someone say yes?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we have here a section under business. It's called the business directory. And actually the good thing about it, you can also add your own entry. So if you have a company right now or an organization, you can hit on the button down here and add your business entity. And we have different sectors here. You can see we have the African restaurants and caterers, we have agri-tech solutions, we have business consulting companies, we have career coaches, hiring agencies, we have cleaning companies, we have healthcare solutions, hotels and vacation rentals, and the legal and insurance services. So, and then down here, you can see the preview of some of the companies we have on the platform. So if you want to buy African spices, to layer, you can order her products here. Melanin Capital is also right here, looking for that input about financing your business venture. Vibanda, it's a Kenyan, it's owned by a Kenyan here in Bonn, and you can book your holiday vacation there. Lisa, she'll also be telling us about her business model, a cleaning company based here. This is digital technology in the area of health. Bramwell Omondi is a co-founder. We have Agritech, an organization that's holding events in Kenya. These are a company we work with. They hire international software developers in Germany. Pflege team Treutlein is also owned by a Kenyan, and her husband, she's in the area of hiring nurses in Germany. We have, of course, Waithera. You can see her restaurant is here. Yeah, so you can see, and also Deutsche Connect is also a partner in Zimbabwe. So if you click in one of the sectors, like if you go to the African restaurants, it will take you, oops, oh, it's not working right now, but we can check later on. So if you click here, then you should be able to see the sectors. And we have put them such that if you click here, we'll fix that later on. You can see there's different sectors in the company. So let me just go to layer spices. I hope it is going to work. Yes, you can see her products here. You can see her link. Yeah. So the floor is all yours. Yeah, if you go to therefore, you can also see what they do. Yeah, it's also in German. So we also have German and African companies. So we're trying to be global. And let me just pick one more example. If you go to Carol's restaurant, you can also see what she does. Yeah, her contact is also there. And I think also Jill was supposed to be, we updated it later on and missed out some of the content, but we'll review it later on. So you can visit the website after the session, and then you can see the companies we have on the platform. So thank you so much. Let me now introduce the guests we've been waiting for. We can start with Ian Minjire to tell us now, what do we need to do when we think of financing our business ventures? I think financing is one of the most important things, but I think evaluating the business model is also equally very important. So Ian, the floor is yours. Let's have you present your initiative. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, Caroline. And it's a really big honor to be hosted here on the platform and to get the chance to speak to fellow Kenyans, especially. This is exciting, you know, on this side. Kenya can be a tricky and rare event, so I always appreciate it. I'll start by, of course, thanking Honorable Ambassador for just sparing his time to be here to speak to us. I think it's something that many people, starting with me, have not experienced previously. You know, these officers are people we hear about, see in the news, and now that we're able to talk to them, it's a great honor. Asante sana. So I'll quickly begin and introduce myself, and I'll start with, of course, I'm here to discuss about the business. Then we're not as established as it sounds. We are also a startup, but you know, tunatafuta hizi mapesa that Ambassador is talking about to take back to other people back home, you know. So I'll quickly dive into who I am, a bit of Melanin Capital, and then a bit of what I think could give me the strength and support to be able to build this here. And of course, a bit later, if there's any other question, I will directly address it. So I can start with, my name is Ian Minjire, and what I am in my background is I'm a civil engineer by profession. I'm also a previous national sportsman. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I've tried my hand in different trades, and I'm a family man, something I'm really always proud to say. And most importantly, I'm proudly Kenyan. You know, I wave this flag as much as I can, whenever I can. However, I'm living in my home, away from home, which is Frankfurt, and that's where I'm addressing this from. I will quickly do a slide just to tell you a bit about Melanin Capital. Okay. You have disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, no, you can. You're a co-host now.
Okay, Asante. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Melanin Capital is what we're trying to build is the first digital impact investment banking platform in Africa. We're doing this by creating a way for us to connect founders worldwide, or rather mostly funders, so capital providers all over the world with bankable and investable impact-driven African ventures. Mm-hmm. Moving to the next one. Okay, 1 second as I just modify that real quick. Okay, it's ready. Okay, doesn't seem to be able to. Next one. Okay, there we are. Okay, thank you. Our mission is to bridge the SDG financing gap in Africa by trying to make these impact-driven ventures bankable and investable to connect them to funding opportunities. This has now become very urgent because Africa is going very fast, and there's strong innovative solutions that try to bridge this SDG financial gap in Africa. The gap at the moment is humongous, and the investment needs in Africa up to 1,500 billion. But of course, there's what has been able to be bridged by private and public funds, as you can see, 83 and 97 billion. But there's an SDG funding gap that is still really lacking. In this sector, the private flows so far have been USD 324 billion. And that's what we are trying to now create and way for it to be disbursed, because that is the difficulty to do it, to find the right entrepreneurs. The deficit in the private finance stems from the lack of bankable and investable deal pipeline based on risk and return constraints. We then have designed, there's no formalized structure or documentation, there's no track record, there's no collaterals or hedging mechanisms, and there's no adapted risk methodology. So our solution tries to enable capital providers to digitally invest in African impact ventures that can then meet this impact, risk, and return expectations. How do we do this? We do it first by having this impact investment platform that is a tech that allows you to do a KYC check as an investor, get your funding eligibility check as an entrepreneur, investment readiness level check. This is for you to know how ready you are for an investment. If you are not ready, of course, then you need capacity building and training, which we then support by giving you access to audit on what we're trying to build with PwC, and obviously a risk scoring mechanism so that the people that are giving funding can easily do a quick assessment, because that is actually one of the biggest challenges to people getting funding. What our technology does is that it uses risk mitigating strategies to build trust and confidence to support this entire investment process. It is facilitated due diligences with audited data rooms. It's a tailored pipeline creation because we're able to bring in entrepreneurs of that kind of caliber. It also gives co-investment and blended finance hedging options for investors to then come in and support each other towards one venture. It also gives an adapted risk scoring. Our products right now, we offer what is called an impact investment club. And this is just our offer to investors. And I will share a bit more of an offer to entrepreneurs so that they can be able to come in and these entrepreneurs. What we have is also an impact investment fund that where people can come in, put in their money from private investors and different institutional investors to try and invest in these African entrepreneurs. We're also trying to build a savings product with ABSA where it's possible that remotely people can use their money to put this money into areas that go into smaller businesses as opposed to them just deciding. So it's just a direct savings product that's directly trying to make you put your money into social impact. We have a program that we call it Tungane. Of course, I'm sure everyone here understands Tungane means let's unite. And every 6 months, we organize this investment readiness program to accelerate the financing of startups, about 500 impact startups. We do the process with a call for proposal where people apply for it. We do an opening ceremony, we finished last week, and now we will select up to 500 who will take the education. It all happens digitally. In the education phase, we take you through academy, which helps you and educate you around ways in which impact investors are looking, or what factors they're looking for in businesses. In the advisory section, or which is the startup lab, you'll be able to give all your documentation as I explained, and also find out how to build documentation that you do. Think of business models, impact strategy, whatever business continuity plans, whatever an investor needs to understand and see to be able to get funding. Lastly, we believe connection is a very important part, which I'll talk about, which we will the club, which is about to give you how to access a network. Developing different ways to bring in partners and APIs for you to be able to connect to different people and networks. This can be experts, mentors, and investors. And lastly, of course, the financing, which is giving you a chance to pitch to investors. In this here, you see one of our entrepreneurs who was called Dr. Jemima. She started a program called Wheels for Life, which we took it from infancy stage and helped her by getting her to reach out to different funders. Here there was Safaricom Fund. And there was Peter Nduati from Resolution. We brought in an investor, a Japanese investor based in the US, a Japanese company with an investor based in the US. And we also brought in the Kenya Health Federation to listen to her idea. We then have built traction over time and have been trusted by different organizations. We've worked with 35 plus startups in 5+ countries. We've just launched this new program that's trying to scale up to 500 entrepreneurs at a bigger magnitude. We have around 18 team members in the different parts. We have an office in Nairobi, as Africa HQ, because that is home for me. And we have Frankfurt, where we started it during COVID, and Paris as part of where my co-founder is from, and we're thinking of going into other regions. We've done 500 hours of financial training with different partners, and we've done 960 hours plus of different mentorship and advisory sessions to different organizations and bodies. For example, something like JICA was my co-founder, whose strength is in finance, who was trying to advise on how they could build the right module to get African entrepreneurs, because just some of their assessments are pretty off and they don't understand vitu kwa ground. So 75 connections to investors and business partners among growing. We also work with GIZ, who we help to then build this together, and ABSA recently to give access to up to 3 million shillings unsecured funding to entrepreneurs back home. It has started as a women program, but it will slowly morph into different programs where we're helping entrepreneurs all through the scale in any social impact sector: agriculture, energy, healthcare. So that's what we're trying to build. And of course, how we're managing to get it unsecured is through the support of Africa Guarantee Fund, who are coming in to support it with a guarantee of up to 50% of the investment. Of course, the story around us, something I sometimes quickly jump into, is that I'm from Nairobi, born and bred. I came to Europe to try and pursue my master's and play a little bit of my passion in rugby, but got the chance to also meet my co-founder, who's French and in Paris, and also had the strength around the financial sector to come and tell me what about impact investing and build a lot understanding how we can build this bridge back to Africa. She's French, German, from her mother, and Congolese father. So she also has her driving back her roots back into Africa. We have a lean team, which I will quickly share here. We have who's helping us as a CFO in Nairobi. We have Titus, who's helping us build this tech. We have Julio, who's chief investor, and Tanya, who's our chief marketing officer. But there's many others. The team is big, and a lot of also people who've been volunteering and has been of great support, including Kenyans. I'm very proud. Lately, give me calls and tell me, how can I help you with this? I remember when I landed in Germany, I had to reach out to a Kenyan who assisted me. So this has been also possible through experienced team of advisors who've supported us, because again, we're young. So it's always important for us to have this mentorship and support up there. And there's different people in education, Peter in investments, Hussam in investments, Andrew in finance, Titus, and Jochen Biedermann, who's German, but has been a very strong support to us, and Sophie, whose background is in the United Nations for a long while. This is some of the awards that we managed to be blessed with through our aims during COVID to try and bring and drive investment into Africa. Lastly, if you wish to join us to build today the Africa we want tomorrow, one entrepreneur at a time, you can easily contact us through hello@Melanin Capital, and I will obviously share if it is contacts or anything, and when the time is needed. So what we sometimes try to let out to, or rather the options that you can support us or programs is, Africa is the future. What part will you play? If you wish to invest with us, then you're an investor in things like that, contact us. If you wish to fundraise with us, you're an entrepreneur and you wish to go through this journey, as we call the pathway to finance, reach out to us. We will be launching soon, so please be a bit patient with this. It's quite a heavy product to release. And then to empower with us, you're an organization that wishes to support entrepreneurs or works with entrepreneurs or finds a way to bring diaspora investments. It's something that we're always willing to work with and collaborate to build Africa. Thank you. So I think that comes to the end of my discussion about Melanin Capital, and Carol had asked me to talk a bit about the journey and the hurdles and how it was like to do it in Germany. first I'll begin and say it was very difficult. You know, I think most people really want to hear that, oh, it's not easy. It's nowhere close to easy, but there's certain values that can help you to either go up, or certain things that support systems that can be also strengths to get you to do it up there. So how I like to describe starting a business is, of course, people have talked about, you know, if you want to go far and things like that. I talk about starting a business like for a long journey. If you have to go for a really long journey, I think the first thing you would definitely is do a preparation. You know, you would prepare, understand how long things take, how does this happen here? If you want to come here and you want to do this, I think you have to prepare how you're going to survive, because of course it's the toughest thing. You know, you can't just jump out of your career or something like that without a plan. So I think it's really good to do that basic planning of financing. And I'd say quickly, you know, find ways to bootstrap or find ways to get funding enough to survive you, even if it's 6 months, because again, you're not sure this is gonna pan out, but have a buffer, you know, say in 6 months, if I don't make it, I will not die, you know, I will have food and things like that. I will have rent, you know, so have these things backed up in your finances, at least to help you move you forward. The other thing is, of course, as I've said, on part of a journey, once you've planned it, is now get driving, you know, get on the road. If you want to be if you want to be driving and you want to drive a really long journey, they say, like, if you use the windscreen and you're looking too far ahead, then you don't see the hurdles right here in front of you. So sometimes understand how to switch your lights, go bright, go dim, sometimes look ahead, there's bumps, there's things like that. Really slowly move towards that, because there will be small steps ahead. So forget about the bigger vision. Of course, you know your goal and you want to be successful and you want to be rich, but just focus on the small ones ahead. It helps you to build a habit, build small steps that help you now run, manage to learn how to now, and you can speed once, of course, you've now had this comfort. The next part is, of course, again, in a journey, and while you're driving, you need your team. You need your co-driver, you need the people at the back. In fact, they say, you know, people have different roles, people who, you know, they give you the support system. So try to find someone, make it people that believe in your vision, sell to them the idea, really get them to also support it, because at the end of the day, don't say that, oh no, it's only me who believes in this idea. and it's true, you could be doing something super innovative, but at least I say, if you can convince 1 or 2, 3 people, they are very helpful. From a mental point of view, it's physical, all of them. Going forward, you really need that support. The other thing is, of course, once you've built this team and you've managed to give all of this, there's just, I think, different values that could be helpful individually, just you as the driver. You know, they say, of course, stay alert, you know, have good rest. But from a business point of view, I'd say they're like, you have to have a lot of confidence if you want to lead something in a very different sector. You have to be able to, one, stand against a lot of tides. You know, it's not easy when you come this side. I sometimes jokingly say, when I say these ideas of how I'm trying to do this, I know sometimes people will tell me, hey, but Ian, why are you so crazy? Just, you've just arrived in Germany, you know, just get a job, chill. So you have all this pressure that comes your side. So sometimes it's important to do that. And of course, the other ones are perseverance, because failure comes a lot. So really get used to it. Like this game, maybe I got this a bit from rugby, but if you're dropping down, get up as fast, you know, just really quick. Like, don't think about, you know, cut your losses, move on. And a lot of vision, because it's important for you to be able to see this path and guide yourself to it. Some leadership aspects, and all of these are things you can add to yourself. So it's not like you're born always with everything. So whatever you find out you don't have, go to the side, learn it. You know, I always say Google is your friend. Another thing is to build the right network. Network is your net worth, as most people say, and sometimes it's around you. Ask for help. You know, don't sit there and say, and sometimes asking for help doesn't mean like you just go out and tell people, hey, give me 50,000. I always joke with people, like, someone who sends you a text and tells me, say, 50,000, I'm starting my business. It's very hard. Someone won't give you that money. But if you start with asking their support for the idea, what they think about the idea, build a relationship, and then one day you need money, I think they're even willing, because they've walked with you the journey. So I think it's important for people to really understand their networks. And so many people are willing to help, but they're only willing to meet you halfway. So again, you have to do a lot of things with your network to convince them that, yes, they should come on board. It's been for example, like I'm a product of a lot of scholarships coming to Germany and everything, but these things all of them were important to apply and to attempt. And that was just trying to talk a bit about, the base of the driver and the entrepreneur himself that could be important. And of course, mentorship, reach out. I can see on this platform, we have lots of people, and mentorship is on all skills. So for example, to become a business, or rather an entrepreneurship, you have to have skills on skills. You can't just wake up and pay a CTO, pay a marketing manager, you have to learn some of these skills. I quickly joke that I had to teach myself some things, from finance to knowing how to shoot videos, to knowing how to post things, to knowing how the German system legal works, to converting all that German documentation to learning new languages. You have to really be ready and be very elastic to spread it across the board if you do not yet have the funding to pull it off. And lastly, I think there's a lot of hard work needed. As Ambassador said, kazi ni kazi. Like, don't put your head down to this venture if you're not ready to work hard. Yeah, it's not the place to go to if umechoka na employment. No. I think, and anyone will pardon me if I'm wrong, it can be a bit more comfortable there because things are a bit more structured. Things you're assured. Area by the way, in the end of the month you could make nothing. So be ready for it and be with that guy that's already knowing that is possible. Yes, so that I think is what I would see as some of the strong business traits that are needed. And lastly is, of course, to speak a quick one about how us as diaspora, we are a strong part of this system, for example, in terms of investments that we can support. We believe, and our team believe, that African problems need homegrown solution. And the diaspora represents the ambassadors out here that can support to drive change. We are the ones that, and mostly and a high chances, a lot of people that have come out here, you were definitely a high caliber of our local society. You definitely did something way above, and it doesn't have to be just education. Even if you came here and to come to work and everything, you had to break a certain barrier. And I jokingly say, if you're able to survive in Germany, you can survive anywhere in the world. And so it's important for us to know that we are a very strong community that needs to come together. And we need to understand that we are the ones who, as we said, ambassadors, we're the ones who can become mentors and experts to people around there. Some of you work in some of the largest and best companies in the world. And in the weekend, you sit back, but someone somewhere back home does not have that knowledge, needs your mentorship or needs your expertise and support, and even more, needs your money. So that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a pipeline where you can put in your money somewhere and not always say, oh, nilirudi home, nikapata nyumba, nilikuwa najenga iko. You can kill a few of these problems and start already investing in other people that are trying to do that. I think that's what I can close that saying. So tuungane, let's build partnerships together, assist each other. Caroline has always reached out to me. We do this. I'm always happy. I think even the other day we talked with Henry. It's even with the ambassador telling me, let's all come together. Let's support each other. As I said, by meeting each other halfway, Kenyans have to stand for each other. We also have to unite for growth. Let's not just unite for barbecues. It's important, but I say unite for growth. No, kukula ni lazima. But let's unite for growth. Let's meet. Let me tell you my challenges. You give me some solutions. We exchange. I have something you don't have. It's something that's really important to build those equality. And last people is the young people. I really want to reach out to my fellow young people. Of course, I know there's many on this platform, but in this life, there's three aspects. You have time, energy, and money. So when you're young, you don't have money. What you have is time and energy. So stop complaining that there's things you cannot do and there's things that you cannot achieve. When you have time and money in big quotients, use it. Reach out to Caroline, reach out to Kenyan women in Germany. I have 5 hours a week. How can I help you? Energy. She's doing a program. Someone's doing an event somewhere. You don't have to contribute. Just tell them, you know what? You guys, that day I'll arrive. I'll be the person checking this. That's it. So that's how we have to also see that, because I know the money excuse has always been there strongly, but starting, I had nothing. I came here to Germany. I had lost my job because of COVID and everything. And I was just like, you know what, let me start from somewhere. And then you share with someone and they're like, okay, I'll give you this. As I explained, as a lawyer was like, you have legal services for free from me to tell you how to guide this. And so and so forth. So that is what I'll end. And lastly, when you land here, hit the ground running. Don't wait, don't be comfortable, don't forget it, and stay healthy, body, mind, and soul. Those are very important for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Ian, I'm a young guy, yeah?
For the very insightful presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and if you have a question, put it in the comment. Oh, and Ian can get in touch with you. Please do that. Because of the time, we'll jump to the next guest, Elizabeth, who has shown us about the pricing policy. Yeah, she has a cleaning company and she is targeting very interesting, let me say, customer segment. She's very keen on leadership skills. Which leadership skills should we have when establishing our businesses in Germany? And then after Elizabeth, now we'll have a short presentation of our entrepreneurs and partners. We'll have Jillian, we'll have Simon Curie, we have Frida, the Widu manager, we have Jackie Kuhn, and then Henry, and then we have a short queue, and then we close. So please bear with us. We try to push the program so that at least by 5:30, hopefully we'll have finished, or towards 5:30. Thank you so much. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Carol. Can you hear me? Thank you so much to Kenyan Ambassador, Mr. Thomas Amolo, to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. My name is Elizabeth Botoni Njoroge, and I'm the founder of Lisa on Team Learning Service. It is a cleaning company based here in Hamburg, Germany, and we specialize in dealing with residential cleaning, that is private home. So a little bit of a backstory of why I started Lisa on Team Learning Service. I came to Germany in 2015, and I came with a program called the Opera program. But even before I came to Germany, I had already decided that I was going to come to Germany, and through my Opera year, I was going to observe, of course, how the market is, and then see what business I was going to start. So initially, I knew at the end of the day, I was going to be starting a business. I was not just sure which business, because I never knew of the opportunities available here in Germany. So fast forward, after my au pair year, I had realized that there is a lack of, I would say, style in fashion in Germany. So my first business venture was not Lisa on Team Learning Service. It was another company called Ivory Couture. And as the last word suggests, it had something to do with fashion. So for the first 3 years, 2017, 2016, I really worked hard to be able to raise 20,000 euros, and then took the money in 2018 and went to the country that I was going to be buying products from, bought the products, shipped the products to Germany legally, and then started Ivory Couture. But unfortunately, that did not work well. So that is when I decided to check the market again and see what other products or what other services I could be able to start in Germany. And that's why I came up with Lisa on Team. So there was a demand for cleaning services. I realized that a lot of customers were looking for very good quality, reliable cleaning services. And there were customers also to be able to, of course, pay for those services. I always say you don't have a business unless you have a customer, because business equals to customers using your product or services. Another thing, of course, is in case you have a product or a service that is not a Me Too business, like the business I am right now, that someone else is doing, then you can be able to go out there and sell the demand for the product or for the service. Those I think they're the two main reasons why you go into business. The second thing was about cash flow, because I believe one thing that startups struggle with at the beginning is money to actually start a business. And when I looked through the market, I saw that a cleaning company had regular cash flow coming in. So basically, with the way I've structured the company, my company is that we have 95% of the customers that use our services, they have to use them weekly. So we know that there is no problem with cash flow. We're able to run the company without having any major issues, or having at least the issue of having to pay employees, or having to pay everything that needs to be paid in the company. So, and also another thing was, of course, I never needed 20,000 euros to start a cleaning company. And like my previous company, I only needed actually around 3,000 to 5,000. So it was a good place to start. There is good cash flow, and I could be able to build the company from the ground, of course, up. The other thing why I went into cleaning business was technology. I think statistics shows that at least 70% of the jobs in the next 5 years would have been replaced by technology, by some of software or some form of robot. And being a person who is very futuristic, for me, I look always in anything that I get myself into the future, 5 to 10 years. And going through that, I realized that the cleaning industry, fortunately or unfortunately, technology had not touched it so much. So basically, even though in the future, we will not have a lot of people working or technology replacing a lot of people, the cleaning industry still had, a little bit of lifespan, before someone decides to invent what I call maybe the robot maid to replace us. So we still have, some time to make something out of it. So a few things that I've learned, learning a company abroad from 0 employees to now employees, and learning a company by myself. What are the things or a few nuggets that I can advise you, or I can tell you they really matter? The first thing is that I've learned that you as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to sell and market. Marketing skill is not something you try to do. It's something that every entrepreneur must know how to do. You have to know how to sell your vision to the customers. You have to know how to sell, whatever you're selling or the services to the employee. Why should they work with your company and not any other company? You have to know how to sell yourself to the investors if you need investors coming in and invest in your company. So selling and marketing is one of the major skill that everyone as an entrepreneur who is either coming from a blue-collar job and aspiring to start a business, that you have to know. This is the good thing. We're living in the 21st century. That means a lot of things are easily acquired. You can go buy books about selling, study the topic about selling and marketing. And I can tell you that, especially if you're going into a Me Too business like me, which a lot of us go into, we have a lot of people who are doing a cleaning company. So what was going to differentiate you from other companies, and what is going to make you actually have customers while others have been doing that for 10 years? I would say when you learn how to sell, especially at the beginning, for example, if your competitor is getting, is going to get 10 customers, and out of 10 customers, they're able to close, 9 deals, and you've just started and you're not really good at selling, and out of 10 customers, you only close 1 out of 10, I can tell you that you can always make up in number what you lack in skill. What do I mean in this? That means this person who has been in the industry and doing this for the last 10 years, and you've just started, they're able to close customers 9 out of 10. You can be able, instead of now doing 10 customers a week, you can be able to do 100. That means out of every 10, you're closing 1 customer, losing 9. But at the end of the week, because you've closed 100 customers, at least you have 10 in every, 10 customers that you are closing. So you're still ahead of this person. The good thing about anything or learning a new skill is that it's momentum. So at the first month, you're closing maybe 1 customer in every 10. The second month and the third month, because you're becoming good at what you're doing, you'll be able to close 3 or 4 people or 4 customers. Within 5 years, you'll definitely be able to dominate that industry. So it's okay to know that you can always make up in skill, in numbers, what you lack in skill. The other thing is you have to know your numbers. You cannot do business, you cannot be an entrepreneur if you don't understand numbers. Like literally, business equals to numbers. Let me tell you something that I've learned. There is the old way where people say that, you have to, when you start a business, you have to check what, your competitors are charging. Like maybe what is the average that everyone is charging in your business. I say that is, yes, that is correct. At the same time, sorry, I've been interrupted. But at the same time, you have to understand that whatever products or services that you're going to provide to the marketplace, who are you providing that product to? Who is your customer? Then your prices should be based on who is going to use that product, not necessarily on what the marketplace is charging. I'll say, for example, in our industry, people charge, I think there are companies that charge between 17 to 20 euros per hour. As we are 2-3 times that price per hour, we are very expensive. So you have to know who do you want to provide those services for, and then you actually base your prices based on that clientele to be able to satisfy their need. You cannot be everything to everyone. You have to choose who is your customer, what do they need, and your prices have to be like based on that, being able to satisfy that customer. Another thing about numbers is you have at the back of every business, you have to know what is working for you. I always say in the cleaning industry, I use the 55, 25, 80-20 rule. That means behind the scene, the net income that you're charging, 55% of that amount of money should be able to go to paying your employees and paying all the government taxes. There are a lot of taxes in Germany. There is Lohnsteuer, Gewerbesteuer, there's so many taxes. So all that amount should be able to amount to 55%. 25% should go to the overhead. That means in any business that you're running, we always have something like maybe insurances that you need to pay, maybe you need to buy product, car payments, all those things should go to 25%. 20% is the minimum, according to me, that you should remain with net after paying everything as the entrepreneur, as the owner of the company. This is very important. Otherwise, if you can be able to remain with 25% on 30, that's good. But the minimum should be 20% so that you're able also to cover your things and you're not working for nothing. Another thing about numbers is that you have to know what is your customer acquisition cost. How much is it costing you when you advertise or when you distribute flyers? How much is it costing you to attain one customer? What is the value, or how much is it costing you to maintain that customer, and how much value does that customer bring to you at the end of every year? You have to know those numbers. That is very important. The other thing that I'm very passionate about is leadership. I believe everything rises and falls on leadership. That means if a company, if a country is not functioning well, they don't bring the employees, they bring the CEO. If a country is not working well, they bring the presidents. They don't necessarily bring the people living in that country. So everything lies on leadership. You have to understand how to lead the team, work with customers, work with investors. And this is very important also to be able to know that it doesn't matter what product or services you're selling, at the back of it all, you are in the people's business, because it is human beings who are consuming those products or services. You are in the people business. And my parting shots, last but not least, is that you have to surround yourself with big thinkers. This is very important. You want to surround yourself with people who think, as much as these are big dreams, as much as this seems to be impossible, let us go back to where we can be able to start. Surround yourself with people who think big, surround yourself with people who challenge you positively, but in a good way. So that's it for today. In case of any question, I'll be able to answer that in our Q&A. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I have learned so much from you, and I'm sure the people who are following us are also very happy to have you. Reach out to her. She will give you those nuggets for free before she starts charging. Chase Ian, chase Elizabeth. That's the goal of this meetup. Yeah, you can feel free to drop your links there in the chat so that people can reach out. So Simon, I'll hand over the program to you. Introduce the next slot, then we go to the Q&A session.
Thank you, Caroline. And let me thank again the ambassador for his encouragement. I think since I came to Germany, I once only saw one ambassador, so I don't want to say who. But thank you very much for your enthusiasm and the spirit to support the Kenyans. I think that is the main reason why we have a government, and government of the people. So, and Ian and Elizabeth, thank you for your presentation. Very interesting and very informative. We are to connect, and we are going to follow your recommendation of supporting each other, of exchanging ideas. So I think we are in together on this board. And the next session is just to give some of our partners or entrepreneurs who are also in this field, those people who have built their own businesses. And in this, I want to invite just for a few minutes. There is a saying that say, if you can't sell in 1 second, then the idea. There is this what they call an elevator speech. So if you have 3 minutes in and you can't sell what you wanted, so sorry. So we want to have these entrepreneurs to just tell us in a nutshell what they are doing. So I'm inviting Jillian Biroth. I hope I said the second name properly.
It's good evening. Okay, good evening to all of you, and thank you very much, Caroline, for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself and my business. I'd also like to say thank you to the special guest, His Excellency, the Ambassador, Mr. Amolo, and also my big thanks has to go to the Kenyan entrepreneurs in Germany who are really flying the Kenyan flag very high, because it's not easy to run a business in Germany. So back to myself, I'm Gillian Wangu-Pirot. I work at an international bank in Frankfurt am Main, and I'm also the founder of the My Ethnic Cooking and Catering. So I've run this business now for 2 years, and then the first year it really went very well, and then the COVID came. And it's like when COVID came, we had to get creative. I had to go online. At the moment, we're also doing this hybrid where you're running the cooking courses online and offline. So it's like you have to technically up yourself. You have to be very creative and very professional in what you do. So I do give extraordinary African cooking events for corporate team building in multicultural environments or multicultural companies. And I also offer catering and home cooking events for your special occasions. It can be weddings, it can be family birthdays, like now, especially during the lockdown, I would be invited a lot in people's homes to cook with their families in their homes. My main goal here is to integrate African food into the international culture around Germany and in Europe as a whole. And since I started my business in terms of online, I was able to do my cooking classes online in Germany, UK, and Belgium. And offline, I had managed to do it especially in Germany and partly in London. So it's a good business to start. And my business, I started it pure coincidence, especially during my networking, meeting other people. And also I'm working in cooperation with a cooking school called Genus Academy. It's one of the most prominent cooking schools in Germany. I do use their kitchen. I do cooking classes in their kitchens. And my own cooking classes, I conduct them aside in Hanau. Some of you have visited my kitchen in Hanau. And of course, in every business, there's challenges. I've faced several challenges, like one thing most of us Kenyans, what we do when you start a business, you just go straight into the business. You forget getting somebody like a Shtoya Berata. Shtoya Berata is the tax guy who looks into your taxes. And because I'm not well conversant with the taxes, because here also, as somebody has already mentioned, you have to be careful about the numbers. That means you have to have your books right on what you're spending and what you're earning, and all these have to be done correctly from the word go, because the penalty of tax evasion in Germany is not a joke. So you really have to streamline your books right from the word go. And another thing that should make your business grow is the networking. So my networking is through networking with big minds, CEOs, big people who can also advise you and mentor you on how to grow your business. And also I'm doing a lot of networking with other cooking schools, because when I started my business, I started by going to other cooking schools. I had started by networking with other people, and this is how I got to grow my business. So I have a little bit of homework to the Kenyan Embassy, because the challenges I'm facing at the moment, it is very difficult to import Kenyan foods and seeds from Kenya. Because when I look at the West Africans, they're easily importing their fufu and whatever to Germany, but for us East Africans, it's a major challenge. And I wonder why is it possible for the West Africans to import their foods and their seeds easily, whereby with us Kenyans, we get very restricted by the German customs. It's like they look into every detail, everything. They even say that the seeds you're bringing from Kenya is coming to contaminate our soil and all this kind of stuff.
Jill, we lost you. Are you still there? Maybe she has some network issues. Okay. Let's see if she'll be back. If not, then maybe His Excellency can comment on that before.
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad you raised it, because when I was in Frankfurt, we had a chat with Waidera, and we had a whole session with a couple of our colleagues, and that came up. I wasn't completely not aware that that was a problem. In fact, they raise other things which I promise to jump into. As I said earlier, I was caught up with some family issues, and I promise I'll be able to jump in. For example, not only the issue of bringing in food, but the issue of bringing in labor, which is specialized. And we even talked about how do we get Kenyan chefs to come in here and so on and so forth. So I do agree with her, and it's something which I know Carol Mullenbrock knows that I raised with them, and or they raised with me, and I'm sure I'll be able to take it up. But it's worth bringing it up in this forum as well. And this is the kind of forum that enables me also to know what other problems exist. I did not know that existed, and if there's anything that can be raised in this forum that I can touch, it would be great. I'll put my email address on this thing and my phone number. Please don't call me at 2 a.m. in the morning. But then you can reach me at any time. I'll give you the office one and my personal one so that you can reach me at any time. I need to hear where the challenges are and what I can do to unlock them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador, for that information. Maybe you want to finish, Gillian, and then we move on. Sorry for the hiccup.
Yes, just a short line. It's like, as everybody has mentioned here, that we really have to support each other and we really have to back each other up. So I think the successful entrepreneurs should also give a chance to the other entrepreneurs to grow by mentoring them. It's important that we also mentor our entrepreneurs, because in my case, I was just dropped into cold water and I just started off the business. So what saved me a lot is I always ask questions. I jump from one office to the next. I ask what is required, what do I have to do, and all this kind of stuff. So for those who are starting from zero, they need to be mentored, and we should give them this kind of support in mentorship. And also we have to support each other in businesses. It's not like when I start my event, somebody will be like, yeah, you're damn expensive, we cannot come to your event. I mean, it's a matter of supporting each other. That's why the West Africans are really successful in their business, because they really support each other. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian. And again, an applause for Gillian. Thanks a lot. And I think
let me interrupt briefly, Simon, before you continue. Yeah. One thing I like about Jill is when I first discovered that she was cooking with other Africans in Germany. So she wants to teach people how to cook, not only Kenyan dishes, but even African dishes. And that to me is unity. She cooked with a Chinese, she cooked with a Cameroonian, she cooked, I think, and she would go into their restaurants. So to me, that's a sign of unity, the unity that we need, and even how we can learn new skills from each other. So you don't have to swim alone. Go and learn from other neighbors and sisters, and so you can also implement your idea properly. So thank you so much, Jill.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jill.
Yes, so go ahead, Simon. That was about Jill.
I don't want to take much time. I think the one who is coming is Skeptic Commercial. That is me. So I will just give you a short intro of myself. I came to Germany in 2007. So I noticed that there was a gap somewhere. So I didn't start immediately getting into business. So I got myself employed. I was taking care of sales in the African market. So I also traveled to different countries. And I was looking at how maybe products are being presented in the African, to the African customers. And I noticed that there is sometimes, like a lot of information that maybe customers from Africa do not see. And I saw that there is also a need to raise the spirit of the African business people to travel as German travel. So to sort of get African business to be on the high level with German companies, or to sit together and discuss business, such that we do not only have German traveling to Africa and explaining everything, but Africans could also come here and see. So I had a small presentation just to give you, I don't know if you can see my my screen. Just let me share it. Just a very short one. Right, So KEPIC, I started in 2015, and the main reason actually to do was to do these business portfolios. German's company representation in Africa. As an African, which I noticed that Africans were very happy to see their own in Africa presenting something else, which also raised some trust for African companies. So we created some partnership with German companies who are doing PV cleaning systems, energy side. And then I also did a second business approach of bringing African business to Germany. So we did sort of what they call a business delegation to Germany, because that also raises the spirit of the Africans, you know, that we are also business and we mean serious. So other than just waiting for the Africans to be in or the Germans to be there and being presenting their own businesses. Just want to go. So the third one was, or just to give you in a nutshell, the companies that I also represented. I went to Zambia for African. Sorry. Sorry. African EU Energy Conference in Zambia, in Lusaka. And I also met other African businesses there, and we asked to discuss how maybe the electrification in Africa is going. So I went to Ghana and I met some hotels who are also doing business in PV systems. I was also in Tanzania, and more of these businesses that I was concentrating was on the industrialization of Africa. That means the energy is key to see how we can improve the energy connectivity, because if we lose or we don't have stable connectivity of electricity, then there is no industrialization. Just to show you some impression, because I believe some pictures also speak more than words. So here on the top side is business African people whom we brought to Germany, and we had to travel from Kassel to Munich to Salzburg in Austria, visiting different companies based on what they needed. So here, up here, we were in SMA in Kassel. Down there, we were in Alumero in Salzburg in Austria. And down here, I think Caro is also part of the business people who visited this trip. And Leonard and Dr. Ngoshi, I think Ambassador also heard of him, and engineer Kasheru. So we visited Dresden, because here we were looking for a solution for fruit and food drying systems, because we noticed that there is a lot of loss in food in the food production in Africa. So, and when I approach the German companies, I usually, we want to change the idea that Africa is very poor and we have to bring the aid and everything to Africa, but we want to present also that we can do business. So one of the main point that we usually tell them is that you don't have to bring aids to Africa, but you can do business in these key areas. So good health and well-being, there is a lot of opportunities in Africa that companies can invest here. And this is what we do. We approach companies. So in these areas, in these sectors, affordable clean energy, that is on the PV, solar, hydro, and wind energy, industry innovation and infrastructure. So if we need German infrastructure technology, that is where we do sustainable cities and communities, climate actions, partnership for the SDG goals. So that is what we see as the key now as African entrepreneurs, to talk to these companies, connect with the African entrepreneurs, or even in diaspora, people who have maybe a need, they have sort of identified the need in Africa. They could be lacking financial support. We have Melanin here. They could be lacking maybe as an entrepreneur in Africa, how to price their own projects. So, and these are the things that we do. And it's based on company to company. And that is how we set also our prices, as I think Elizabeth once said. Some of the projects that we made successful through this Europe business delegation and coming is one of 300 kilowatt PV system, which was installed in port, Mombasa port at KPA. So you can see it was done by one of our EPC's partners. Down here is a dairy farm in Kiambu, which I visited also. And here in Germany, this is a project which is 1 megawatt in Waldrun, which was done by one of the companies that I was representing. So this is just in a nutshell what we do at KEPIC, just to make business grow and bring sort of business partners together. So if in case you needed some information of a certain company, or how you wanted to partner with a certain company, German companies, because there are a lot of things that are involved, you know, cultural thinking, how they work ethics. They are known that, well known here in Germany, that Kenyans are very entrepreneurial, and also their work ethic is very, very strong. And I think the ambassador has also mentioned that. So there is also a tendency that companies will prefer to work with us. So we need only to get together, find the opportunities and grab them. So with that few remarks, we can connect and support each other. So I want to just continue by inviting Frida from
Simon, before Frida joins us, as Tyke Henry said would like to leave about 6. Maybe we can give him 3 minutes, and then we go to Frida and quick, and then I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, hi everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for the invitation, Career Hub AG. Am I clear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you for the guest of honor of the day and the speakers who've spoken. We've really gained a lot from your speeches, and thank you so much. My name is Henry Osewe, and I represent the young people called Tyke Society, the Young Kenyans in Europe. It's the smallest child in the building, but has been able to do a lot. We've worked a lot with the Kenyan women in Germany, AG Career Hub. We are in talks with the Melanin Capital and all other organizations who are represented here. Tyke Society is basically an investment cooperative that brings together young people who have a common interest. Yes. Within the platform, we network. We believe that through network, we can be able to increase our portfolio, and also give young people a chance to get to meet these people who are well established, and also help them grow in one way or the other. Secondly, we also innovate ideas. For instance, the last time we had a meeting with His Excellency the Ambassador, he talked about the few challenges that embassy is facing on different areas, and we took it as a challenge for us to try come up with a solution or ideas that can be able to help solve the problem. So, Mr. Ambassador, we are working on one. Maybe we're going to invite you soon to one of our meetings so that we propose to you what we think can help solve some of the problems. All right. Thirdly, we also educate our members. We give information to the young people on different areas, topics, which we feel are very relevant in regards to their stay in Germany, in regards to their career, and in any other way that to the environment that they interact with on a daily basis. Finally, we empower them through savings and investment. We are working on our investment platform, savings and investment platform, of course, of which we shared with the Melanin Capital as well, trying to figure out ways in which we can partner and collaborate. And we believe that if a young person saves or keeps aside a single cent from what they consume every day, that will be able to build on their future, you know. It starts now. And we thought that it was really important for us to think about that aspect. So basically that's about Tyke Society. And if you want to join us, you want to get know more about Tax Society, you go to our webpage, www.taxsociety.org, sorry, and you get the application form and the rest, and you can be able to join us and be part of us. Thank you so much, Asanteni Sana, and that's all about TAIC. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Henry. Yes, TAIC is also part of our amazing network, and you're also doing a fantastic work, coaching these young people before they start going to Hawaii on holiday. Yeah, Jackie Kun, we can give you 3 more minutes and then we finish up with the Widu Manager, because I think you might have to dash as well, right?
Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you very much, everybody who's attended, who is in here. Thank you very much, Ambassador Amolo. Wacha nianze sasa. Good evening, kila mtu. My name is Jackie Kun of Kenyan Women in Germany. What's Kenyan Women in Germany? That is a group of Kenyan women who are staying and working in Germany. And why did we start the group, and what is the group all about? We want to strive, or what we are actually doing is to striving our women and empowering them, both socially and economically. When I say both socially and economically, that is both in Kenya and here in Germany, where actually our home is. The fact that we have the name Kenyan Women in Germany does not mean that we've closed our doors to others. Our doors are open to even our Kenyan men, the way Mr. Amolo would put it, boy child. We've opened our doors even also to Kenyan men, and we help where we can help. And not only to the Kenyan women as well, but any other woman or any female who is from the African continent who needs help from us. We do help where we can. How do we manage to help these ladies? We do help them in such a way that the fact that we are working with different institutions, we are working with many government institutions here in Germany. We work with the police, we work with the law firms, we work with the lawyers, the law firms. At the same time, we have groups within our own Kenyan Women Society, within the Quig Society, that is the press group being led by Philly, leadership mentorship, Kupinga Ubaguzi, education and career being led by the lady who is here, Caroline Mwangi, and she's been really of help. Whenever there's somebody throwing in educational question or somebody who wants to come from home, we always go like, Caro is here, Caro, where are you? And I think some of these guys are in here and can attest to that. We also have the health group. We have the children, baby mothers group. And that is very important because the children are the future leaders. So we try to look into it, that the upbringing of the children, because the upbringing of the children is quite a challenge to most of us mothers here. So with that, we are trying to form like a collaboration or even work together with children institutions, with family lawyers who can help us in many other steps, how to go about raising our kids, and also to tell us more about the policy, the child policy of this area. Because for you to live in a country, you have to know what the law is, and we have to abide to the laws of the country. So apart from that, we also have the domestic violence group being led by one of our own, that is the Jane Gitonga Tushin. I think she's also here. And we also have all our Bundesländer representative. That means we are spread countrywide. We have in every Bundesland, we have a leader who, and those leaders are the ones who reach out, first of all, to the members who have a problem. So just like I've said, we are trying to create a solid basis. The group, Kenyan Women, we want to create a solid basis for our kids and also for other Kenyans who are coming to Germany, which we didn't have before. And that we can only reach by working together, coming together. Right now, we are working with, I can see Eva has just raised her hand for me to know that they are youngsters. Yes, we also have the youngsters, and the golden girls, those are the Kenyan ladies who are above 50, the youngsters being led by Eva, Maria Ogot, and Clara, and the golden girls being led by Charity, who is also in here. Sorry, I just forgot that. I'm sorry, but time is not on my side. Yes. What was I saying? By working together, we are at the moment working together, like with the Korean Hub. We are working together with the Thai Society. We're working together with, last time we had this function in Frankfurt in collaboration with the Rafikis, and our doors are open for us. Just at the beginning, just like Carol said, for you to walk faster, you can walk alone. You can go alone, you'll be faster. But for you to go further, we have to join hands. And before I forget, we also have a platform, Ian. I remember we had a talk last time when we were in Frankfurt. We also offer platforms to entrepreneurs. We offer platforms to organization, banks, to come and educate our members. So Ian, feel free. And whoever has anything that would like to present to the group members, feel free and contact us. Our website is www.kwig.eu. So just contact us and we will work from there together. Karibuni sana. I hope I didn't take a lot of time.
Me a bill. Thank you so much, Kikun.
Oh, karibu, Carol.
Actually, Quig is a place we always say is a place we call home because there's a lot of sisterhood in the group. Yeah. So I challenge to men once more, as His Excellency said, men, we are waiting for you, seeing the platform for men. So please, now, before coming to the end, we are very honored to have the Kenyan Widu Manager, Frida Kibuko. And actually, we put at the end, we changed the program a bit just for us to see the kind of networks that are there, so that when she comes in, she knows, aha, there's Quig, there is Tyke, there's Melanin Capital, you know, all these networks are there. So let us know what is happening on the ground and where do we need to push our entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Give us ideas on how we can
absolutely
work on our business models, because some people they're clueless on how to, you know, to write the business, let me say the business proposal, this what is it called, investment, whatever. So let us know what's happening on the ground. And thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. And I start with His Excellency, the Ambassador, Mr. Thomas Amolo. I'm so glad to hear what you're doing for the Kenyans in Germany. And just passing my greetings from Nairobi. I'm Jambo. I can't hear you, but it's fine. Good afternoon. It's actually night here. The dark is already here. And happy Sunday to you. And I'm sure most of you are not working, like I'm not also working. And we have some, you know, cooking and all this kind of things. But I'm so happy for AG Career Hub to have me this evening. And just to say something about Kenya Widu, because I know I just got here, signed up for the last 2 months. Widu has been on the ground for the last 1 year, and some of you know Widu more than I do, and therefore I'm just very cognizant of that fact. But it would be great for you to actually see the face of Kenya Widu, who is managing your project, who has an oversight in terms of what is going on here, and who can be able to also give you some insight into what is going on. For those who have not heard about Widu, it is actually a remittance project. Every time anyone talks about migration, governance, or movement of people, one of the things which happens in Africa, for example, is people start saying refugees. And then you press them a little bit more and they tell you, no, remittance. We are getting a lot of foreign exchange from all over the world. And I would like to say, like in Kenya, we have at least 3% of our GDP that is coming from the foreign investment and also from the diaspora remittance. So the remittance issue is a big topic in any government in Africa. And every government in Africa right now, they're thinking about how do we engage our diaspora network in a more engaging manner, but in a more also impactful manner. When I came in this meeting, the first thing I had was generational impact, our children's children, and that is a kind of a footprint that we also need to really be cognizant of. So without wasting a lot of time, let me just say a very few words about Widu. That Widu is the remittance project that is working in Africa in 5 countries. Cameroon and Ghana started in 2019, and in Kenya and Togo in 2020, just when COVID had hit all over the home, and Ethiopia, which started in 2021, and we're looking also now into having it in Tunisia, at least in the end of the year. What we're doing in Widu, we are leveraging on diaspora remittances. And I heard Ian say, not very many people will give you 50,000. But I'm here telling you that we are giving more than that. We're giving 2,500 euros, matching the entrepreneur and also the diaspora remittance. What we're doing is we are capitalizing on a financial and non-financial contribution. When we talk about financial contribution is matching up what the diaspora is giving and also what the entrepreneur is giving. And why is this so important? I really had a long presentation, so I really want to put my information, all of it into one, and just say that most of the diaspora remittances that we see in Kenya, for example, I was looking at our numbers and I was very surprised to see, for example, in Europe, up to now, up to August 2021, we have like 500 million US dollars, up to just August. And most of this money is going into what we call recurrent budgets. It's going to hospitals and location, which is very important. It's going into the maintenance of households, etc. But what that does, it is just recurrent. You give it this month, and your mother, your auntie, your cousin, your brother calls you back again and says, please nitumie ya kulipa renti mwezi, ya kufanya fees kama this year in parents in Kenya, we are paying fees 4 times. So you can imagine also the pressure is also coming back to you guys and telling you guys, can you also give me more money? So we're trying to say that instead of putting all these 100% on recurrent budget, why don't we redirect these into investment? And that is where the financial contribution is coming into, and we are matching it up now with a non-financial contribution. And this is coming in a way of coaching, giving advice, providing what Carol you are just asking just now, how do you do a business plan, for example? We are telling our entrepreneurs, there's a business model canvas which can really give you some tips into doing a proper business plan. And also finally, we accompany the process. I had Ian again say, umetuma pesa nyumbani ya kujenga nyumba, picha imepigwa ya neighbor's house, you don't know how that is coming up, you come home, and you want to cry. One of the diasporas told me, I almost killed my brother, but I remembered I might need a kidney one time. So these kind of conversations are all continuous. What we do is really accompany the process to make sure that doesn't happen. So we're sending our coaches to the ground, kwa ground, Dani, with gumboots. They are looking at the pig, pig stays, they're looking at the rabbits farms, they're looking at the salons, and confirming the investment. And this is an added advantage also to the diaspora. So I think without really taking a lot of your time, when Ambassador, what I would like to say is Kenya, in terms of the diaspora, when I signed up in August, one of the things I observed is the West Africans are doing very well in terms of their diaspora remittances and the Widu platform and really trying to use up their budgets. They are fantastic. Sisi, we are struggling a bit. So I'm really appealing to my fellow Kenyans, vile tunasemanga my fellow Kenyans, brothers and sisters. This is a concept which is really timely, which is innovative, which is very transparent, which you can be able to really follow up on the accountability aspect of it. You can trust it. We have a lot of expertise in the team. We are following up every individual project and just making sure that things are supposed to be the way they are. We have 2 products at the moment, the original business grant. The original business grant, we're giving a grant up to 2,500 euros based again on the contribution of the entrepreneur and the diaspora. And we have the Corona Business Grant. And the Corona Business Grant is for projects which really are looking at the mitigation of the COVID or the pandemic effects in Africa. And some of the ideas I would like to give also for the Corona business is what I've heard Kirui say, clean energy, things which can be able to reduce, congestion, issues of transport, issues of virtual gyms. I've seen quite a lot of that in Nairobi, or just anything which is really mitigating the effects of Corona. And for this one, we are not asking for contribution from the diaspora, but we still need the diaspora to guarantee the project. And finally, before I end, there's a product which is coming up by the end of this year. And I'm so grateful to tell you guys about it. I think you're the first ones to hear about it because it will be Kenya will be the pilot country. We want to see how that goes. And this is the Green Grant. And again, Kirui, I think this comes out again very clear to you in terms of greening businesses, issues of clean energy, but also very innovative. You guys are living in, I don't want to put it that way, but there's one of the migrants who told me, alifikiria akikuja Nairobi hakuna matope, barabara ni za juu huko tu, watu wanatembea huko juu. And that is what I saw in Berlin. I think it's a very beautiful cities and also other beautiful cities in Germany. Let's bring that exchange of ideas, and also in terms of what is working in Germany, in terms of green environment, green grants, and let us capitalize on this grant, which will be up to 5,000 euros. So we'll give you more information, and fortunately, because of time, I could not be able to highlight to you the kind of projects we have right now in Kenya and what in terms of also the numbers, but I look out for an opportunity where we can break it down, and so that you can also be able to ask as many questions as you may have. Once again, Carol, thank you so much for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. It has been a pleasure and also a learning point for me to hear about how innovative and how entrepreneur and industrious our Kenyans are shining in Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Frida, for your input, for your amazing input. We'll organize an extra session for the Widu, so don't worry about that. We're very, as you can see, we're very well connected. And we're also a beneficiary of the Widu grant. We managed to secure the Corona Business Grant, and we have set up an education hub in our rural area, like those shopping centers. So we have a small college, and young people in the rural areas are able to go into this college and access content. We have a special German technology. So you see, we are here to tap what we can take home and elevate this idea. So thank you so much. And maybe before Simon does his closing remarks, I just want to give a big shout to all of us. Make sure you unmute yourself and just clap for yourself for the wonderful time we have spent here. Yeah, so Simon, over to you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, one more. We have shared several links on the chat. So there's one, we have a WeDo self-help group, again, helping each other. You can join the WhatsApp group, but it's only for WeDo content. We also have, we are also on Telegram. We have a community for the AG Career Hub. You can join our Telegram community. And we also have the contact form. So if you don't like Telegram, you can use the other contact form. Let's connect each other. Let's see how we can also collaborate with the Kenyan Embassy, for example, is our, let me say, our authorities here, and see what we can do to elevate all these issues together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Caroline, and thank you everyone for joining us. I want to really appreciate you. I'm so proud to sit in a conference with Kenyan professionally. You know, I think there has been an aspect that you know, like when we meet as Kenyans, we, you know, like it's party, but I'm so proud to see all of you and you know, engaging to change the trajectory of Africa, of Kenya, to sort of being seen as people who are really business people, business minded. And you remember very well that we have said, you know, business are built on solutions. And there is a saying that says, if you're not offering a solution, you are robbing someone, you know? So, and I'm very happy to see all of you doing something engaging. So let's continue connecting. We have a lot of contracts of different German companies, of Austrian companies, of Swiss companies, Holland. So we are very, very European, let me say so. And should you need any, any information on how maybe to go about partnering with a particular company, don't shy off, just write to us. We will find a way on how we work together. And remember again, for the last one, we have said that if you want to go faster, you can run alone, but because we are aiming to go far, we're going together. Thank you very much. I want to close with that thinking so that you may continue, knowing that we are here to back each other's back and we will succeed together. If we fall as an African. And if we rise as an African together. So thank you. I wish you all the best and may God bless you.
Thank you so much. I have one more request. Let's also give a big shout to His Excellency, Mr. Thomas Amolo.
Exactly.
Support, for gluing to the screen for 2 hours. Thank you so much.
No, in fact, this is, Carol, I don't know why Kirui wants you to close before we listen to nuggets from everybody.
Sorry,
Charity akiongea. People like Charity mbona umekaa kimya sana, Kirui amekaa kwa nini?
Oh, pole sana, imekuwa injustice. So if there is anyone who wants to say something, please.
Sorry, apologies.
Amolo staki aongee. Watu wengine lakini waongee.
May I say something?
Charity, hauna cha kusema? Naona Axel Bohm hapo.
Oh, sure.
Anasema kitu.
Okay, asante sana, Your Excellency. I'm really always happy whenever I'm in a platform where you are, because it's just wonderful. Like somebody's just saying that we never had this kind of opportunity before. People like us were here for over 20 years. It's just wonderful. And anyway, this has been an amazing platform. I'm so impressed and I'm so happy to be Kenyan and to see the wonderful things that everybody's doing here. As a senior citizen, I'm really impressed. This is a new kind of Germany, Kenya. A new Kenya, Germany, Kenyans. Yeah, we are one and the same. Yes. Yeah.
Mimi nimekuacha hapo, mimi si senior citizen, mimi akina Taik. Weka hapo peke yako.
Mimi senior citizen.
Mimi ni Taik.
And by the way, for your information, okay, amongst the Kenyan women, I do have a group which I lead. It's for 50 plus Kenyan women. So if you know anybody who is out there who is a Kenyan 50 plus, please tell them to join us. We do discuss and do marvelous things. Marvelous things.
So please, that's what I wanted you to say. Yes. Put your details down there so that people can reach out to you. Thank you very much, Charity. Sorry, Carol naingilia story zako, lakini I thought Charity has always got something good.
You see, that is your importance, Mr. Ambassador.
Naona Waidera alikuwa napika chapo. Waidera, hiyo chapo tutakula siku gani?
Thank you for
hello everyone, and it's nice to see you again, Mr. Amolo. Yeah, niko kazi like always, and I represent this idea. Yeah, Msosi. Mukimo kwa wingi, chapati kwa wingi, and I'm so happy that we have this kind of a platform. Caroline, you know, I'm your fan. I admire you and everything you're doing to unite us and providing solutions for things that I would have wanted to have somebody to talk to when I came to Germany, for example. I tell everyone I have studied law in Kenya. When I came here, I didn't know where to start, but I'm happy I landed where I am now. And, we can contribute in our society where we are now, or in Kenya, or to our different places in every way. It doesn't matter. I do it in the kitchen, but I am able to reach many people in many different ways. So don't feel small in whatever field you're in. You can be of impact in some way to somebody. Reach out and offer your services. I try to do that, and I'm always ready to be wherever somebody would want me to be. Mr. Amolo, I'll come and make Mukimo anytime you invite me to. It will be a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Carol Mwangi, if I may, you know, Elizabeth Njoroge have made some very good points. And I thought I could say something briefly before I leave you guys. Number one, Elizabeth, when I was talking to Waidera and Co., they had this challenge about bringing things in. Now, I don't know whether it's from your experience as clearing and forwarding, whether these issues of photosanitary, whether those come in, and if maybe you can hook up through Carol, the Carol Mwangi and Carol Waidera Mullenbrock, to hear more about the challenge. I have my thoughts. So we can, Carol, maybe we can have a small offline, maybe subtext, sub what, which can look at some of these challenges, maybe with Quig and so on. So the business, so we can think of where the problems lie and see whether we can leverage our talent. I know Ian maybe has some networks and so on. That's number one. Number two, I was very happy Gasheri spoke about Widu, and it requires a whole new session. And I'm thinking that maybe with Widu, because we are looking at development, maybe there's another area we can think of how we can scale up to use the language in that part of the world. See if we can scale it up and see how we can spread it, because the definite benefits are huge. And just listening to my age-mate charity with the 22-year-olds of her generation, there are challenges in that age group, but there are also opportunities. And maybe that's something which maybe with Quig, because I know Quig has been touching everything. And finally, Carol, just thinking, we have the Minister for Health coming in. I noticed you have a health platform thing. I know Quig has a health thing. He was asking me, Tom, what can we do big time? And I said the one thing which I discussed with Akina Waidera when I was in Frankfurt was to see whether the kind of deal that was struck with the UK, where nurses can come in, you know, so that's something we can put on the table for him. I've already done so, but we want to look at the networks within Germany. And that's why you, Gasheri, because you have these networks, you with BMZ and so on, maybe there's something we can leverage that to unlock the possibility of having the kind of deal we have with the UK to enable our people to come in. But I'm throwing this out here because you have all the brains here, you've got all the talent, this is a good network. So maybe, Carol, in your thinking after this, see how you can extract additional value from the wonderful ideas and networks that have been put forward. I think I'd like to leave it there and to just ask Carl, my son, who's been listening. Carl, I hope you've taken copious notes. And please harass Carol Mwangi. She's very difficult to get. You have to make an appointment 2 weeks in advance. Lakini ukimpata takupatia mawaidha fiti sana. Alafu pia ushike Elizabeth Njoroge, unaona vile amechanuka mbaya sana. Kwa hivyo, these are the people lazima ushikane nao. Mesikia Carl? Na unaona mwile anapita machapo na vipi. So thank you very much. I have to go because there are many. Dana Amolo nimekuachia email yangu. Nitafute, I want to know who you're related to. If it's not me, shauri yako.
Dangote project yako ambassador.
Ndio mimi nitakupatia. Nilikuwa na moja, ubaya nilikuwa na mazishi juzi, lakini nimerudi na sasa nimeitwa na wados nikimbie UN. By the way, Kenya is the president of the Security Council for the month of October. As some of you know, I campaigned. I was a special envoy campaigning for our membership. And thank God that the world listened to me, to us, to Kenya, and we were elected. So now our president is sitting in the Security Council. We have 4 sessions this month. Wamesema we wacha kupiga kelele Germany kuja tushikilie kidogo. nitaenda briefly alafu nitarudi. Inshallah hizo vitu nimebakia, tumesema nitafanya, alafu nipige raundi pia huko kwa kina Mulembro Kinkule Chapo na vitu zingine. Asanteni sana.
God bless.
Thank you so much. Barikiwa sana.
Thank you. And if I'm allowed, actually, I'm not in Germany. I'm in the Middle East. Basically, I'm in Bahrain, Kingdom of Bahrain. And I got this link from one of your colleagues, Pastor Daniel. We were in a different forum yesterday.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. Actually, in the Middle East, our weekend is Friday and Saturday. So I could not join you earlier on because I had class. I just finished my class at 6 o'clock. Then I thank God the little I've heard from the fellow Kenyans. Now, basically, I'm a professor here, but sideways, I have a program, not profit making, but I want to give my talents in empowering widows and orphans, and also seeing how we can respond to disaster in Africa. So as such, I would say I'm the president and the CEO of the World Foundation International. As I finish with my contract with the Arab Open University in affiliation with Open University UK, this is the much I would want to contribute to Kenya, and of course, with collaboration with talented people and resourceful people like you in Germany, I believe together we can really contribute something to our motherland. So thank you very much. I'm so inspired. I feel so much in Europe, though away in the Middle East. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Habil. All the very best, and keep in touch.
Yes, I will remain in touch. Thank you so much.
So Dan Amolo, you wanted to say something?
Aseme kwao ni wapi?
Hello guys.
Yes, Dan, we can hear you.
Yes, good to see all of you. I'm very proud to be associated with you, and big up to Caroline. You have been holding my hand, and because I'm still new and we are doing things together, this is very good. And when you the ambassador, I'm not related to him, but I'm the brother from another mother. I'm happy to hear you guys. Quig, I see you guys, you are big.
Thank you so much, Dan. Yes.
Yeah,
and forgive you for the good work you're doing. Axel Bohm, you want to say something? We can give you the chance. Axel has also been supporting us a lot. We've been trying to brainstorm some few ideas on what we can do. Having worked, being with GIZ for so many years, so we think it's a good indicator even for you to have you for all those many hours and for all the meetups we've been having. Karibu, Axel.
Asante sana. Ja, du bist die Chefin, ne? Nicht vergessen. Und vielen Dank, dass ich die Möglichkeit habe, ein paar Worte zu sagen. And I switch over to English also. So, reason for the Old Mzungu to be in this very exciting meeting, there are two. One is spying, because I'm married to a Ugandan, and if I see how far the Kenyans have gone in terms of organizing themselves, I will share with my wife and with the Ugandan community your experience. So that is half a joke, of course, not spying. Caroline and I met on the platform of LinkedIn, and using also the words that have been underlined several times, of course, also under the aspect of learning from each other, helping each other. And as it was put out several times, instead of going fast, going far. So Caroline and I, we have a more or less regular contact when she is free to exchange ideas. We have also started some things, but I don't want to indulge in that. Compliments to those ladies and gentlemen that have presented. They are part of life and experience. And as it was stressed before, please, not in terms of uniting, but be united, share your capital that you have to be successful. Sorry, I'm stopping now. Thanks a lot again for being able to be here, and hopefully also to have another chance to attend another meeting. Bye.
Bye, Axel. Kwairi, thank you so much. Malak, you have something to say? I can see you have raised your hand. Malak, are you still there? Okay, Nagina Kamenda. Anyone else before?
No, he's there.
I'm there. Okay. Yes, Malak. Yeah. By the way, he has amazing art. So make sure, share your link in the chat so that at least we can check what you're doing. Yeah, and we also have in the directory so that people can buy your products.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that. Thank you very much. Mine is very short. First, I would like to thank you for this initiative. And secondly, I would just like to point out on the creatives, on the arts, because I think this is a segment that is so much left out. And we have seen art, the global market is about $50.6 million US. And for the last 2-3 years, we have seen the art shifting from normal art to NFTs and non-fungible tokens. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And there's so much creativity in Kenya, but the problem is they lack the foundation or the basis or the market where they can do that. And my question is, how can we also get support to start such infrastructure here so that we can market our Kenyan artists or Europe? Because if you see like Nigeria, if you go to France, they are big names, they are Nigerian artists, but Kenyans, I know great names, great artists, but they're not featured here because just like athletes, there are other people who are broker there, like they're brokering them. So I don't know how we can go about it, but my idea is to start an infrastructure whereby we can have art direct from Kenya, selling them to the buyers here in Europe. So I live in near Bruxelles. My name is Malak Silas. I've been here for about 7 years right now. I'm an event manager by profession, but I'm also an artist. So thank you guys.
Share your contacts, please, Malak.
Thank you, Malak. That's a point you're going to consider, an e-commerce for the African artists. Actually, I know one also in Kenya doing amazing work. He sells his art crafts at a village market. We follow it up. We follow it up. You are the lead. We will come in with ideas.
Okay.
Caro, allow me to say something about Malak.
Yes, please do.
If you're organizing an event and you have kids and you want to organizing an event with kids, Malak is just the person to be at that event. He knows how to take care of those kids. Mr. Byrne, even in the Ugandan society, if there is something that is being organized with children, please feel free. You won't regret it. We did it and you did a marvelous job, Malak.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Malak, let's talk about our African festival
yes.
in August. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
I will share my details there. Okay. No problem.
Please do. Sawa.
Alafu nikutumie bill Malak, eh? I'm joking.
So guys, sorry, I have to leave because kazi imeingia nyingi sana sasa. Thank you so much and
okay, bye. Bye. Sawa, tutaongea. I think we have to close because we have also to feed the kids.
Yeah,
anyone
exactly,
else something to say before we close?
Tomorrow.
We have.
But if there is any question, you can write it. Huh? If there is any question, we can put it in writing.
Just be in touch. You know where to find us, and I know all these people. By the way, I know most of these people. If you want to find Jackie Kun, talk to me. Anyway, I'm kidding. Yeah, then have a great week. I think Elizabeth. Oh, Joy wanted to say something, but I think now she was on the way. Joy, are you still there? You have 1 minute to say something. If not, then there, yes.
Excuse, nimeona rafiki ya mine ako hapa ama. Rafiki.
Can someone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Then the Rafiki can also say something. Rafiki.
Sorry, I just want. Yes, I joined late. I'm sorry about it.
No problem.
Because I'm still on the road, going back home, just arriving. And I just wanted to thank you for organizing all this and to everybody who has been here to present. And I just want to thank you.
Karibu sana. Travel safe and we'll be in touch.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Rafiki, you have something to say? I'm Amanda. Rafiki, before we... Looks like he's not there anymore. Okay. We plan to have many more events. Yeah, so watch the space. Let's see what we can do together. As I said, everyone has a part to play. So that's the puzzle we are going to build. Yeah, like everyone plays their role and we unite together as Kenyans. Let's make the name of Kenyans in the diaspora. Thank you so much for your time. Kwaherini, have a fantastic, blessed week. And let's stay in touch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.